good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am greeting you away that you are watching this video. So today I'm going to talk about taking control, because we all know that, listen, we want to take control so bad sometimes, especially when circumstances is out of our control. We're uncomfortable, we're in vulnerable positions, and we're just like, bro, I'm ready to turn this boat and make it go the way that I want it to go. You know what I'm saying? And I made a video, my last video, in regards of walking in God's will. Listen, the content is not, the quality is not too good. I'm trying to make it work, but listen, it's good material. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it, because of course you always want to be in God's will. And it's not a video you need to be in God's will, but no, just talking about when we're us walking in our own will, and God's will, and us trying to stay in his will. So yes, but today I want to talk about taking control, because this is realistic. This is real. This is very much real. And I remember when God was giving me a revelation in regards of me being in my will, and just taking control, and my spirit was really, really grieved. I'm not even gonna lie, it was very, very grieved. And I'm just like, oh my God, God, I am I was very remorseful, and definitely repented and went into prayer, and I'm like, and I did a couple things, because I'm like, God, how should I put? I feel like when you get on certain levels with God, I feel like you get convicted in certain things, or that's how I'm looking at it as, because it's been times where I made decisions and I was probably in my own will, but I've never felt the way that I felt in regards of the last go round, in regards of taking control, because it was clear that God wanted me in a position, and I was just hell bent on trying to make it my way. So oh my God. So when he identified it to me and told me hey, I have you in this position, and if I wanted it to be a certain way, it would be a certain way. I am all for God, everything is working in God's accord. He is in control of everything. So my mindset is always in that perspective. So how I looked at it as, it was just dang, he has me in this position. He's allowing me to be in this position. So me taking control was just God, I don't trust you. It's pretty much what we're saying. When we do that, that's pretty much what we're saying. When we take control and start making our own moves, we're pretty much saying God, I don't trust you. And it don't have to be intentional, but that's what an action is. Let's be realistic. Let me give you an example. When your children rebel against you, and they take their own direction, and they don't take your advice, they're saying that I don't trust what you're saying. And we look at it like that. And we even tell them sometimes, you be like, yo, do you not believe what I'm telling you right now? Do you not trust that I'm looking out for your well-being? Do you not trust that I know what's happening, and I know better than you? It's so yes. And this, oh my God. Ooh. So, and this is going back into Samuel, 1 Samuel, okay? 1 Samuel 15, verse, I want to say 23. Verse 23, this talks about in regards of rebellion. You know what I'm saying? Rebellion, it says, rebellion is as witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? And stubbornness is as of iniquity and idolatry. You know what I'm saying? So when we step into our own our own will and taking control, we're rebelling. We're God, I don't want your help. God, I can do this for myself. Or God, I don't want to be in this position, and I can make myself be in a better position right now. And we're pretty much telling him listen, I know better than you right now. Or I want to do better than you right now. You know what I'm saying? Do better than what you're doing right now. And 9 times out of 10, God, once again, going back to the example as being parents, and we're, directing our child and advising our child, hey, this is not it. That direction that you're trying to go is not it, because I foresee it. I already know it. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? And we're trying to give them that advice. And when they rebel, because that's what that is, they're rebelling, and they're taking control of their own life and say, you know what, Mom? You know what, Dad? I got this. Neck roll and everything. Or, son, Dad, I got this. You feel me? I'm doing me. Yeah, they're pretty much saying like, I don't need your help. Like, I'm gonna go my own way. I know better than you because it's my life. Yeah. So that's pretty much when what we're saying when we're taking control. We're saying, God, I don't want your help. Like, and like I said, it couldn't be. Sometimes it don't have to be intentional. It could be like we don't. It's not like God. Some of us will, but sometimes we're so desperate, in regards of trying to make things work for our way. We're not paying attention to the, inadvertent communication that we're given. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not deliberately saying, God, I don't want your help, but through my actions, I'm saying that. I'm not deliberately saying, like, God, I don't trust you, but through my actions, I'm saying that. So it's like, sometimes we just have to be a little bit more aware, a little bit more conscious of, like, be careful, like, be a little bit more conscious of our actions and what it's communicating. So when God was like giving me revelation, my spirit was so grieved. I'm not even gonna lie. And I guess because it's me having that rapport with God, me building that relationship, my spirit is growing. And so when that conviction came, I said, oh God, like that wasn't, I'm sorry. Like, no, like, so yes. Let's get started. When we're not walking in God's will, we're walking in our own will. So when we're not choosing to walk in God's will and say, you know what, God, let your will be done. If you have me in a period of isolation, if you have me in a period of, separation, if you have me in a period of lack, if you have me in a period of whatever the case may be, when we don't accept it, we're rebelling. We're rebelling. That's what we're doing. And unfortunately, it sounds bad because of course we would want to take it into our control and try to make things better. But if you want to be realistic, and we're speaking about really building, a relationship with Christ and really having that strong foundation, having that strong spirit, we don't want to take control. Even though we may feel like we can, fix it right there. If God knows that we can fix it right there, and if he wanted it to be fixed right there, it would be fixed. So sometimes we have to, put that in that perspective too. If he wanted to fix it right there, it'd be fixed. If he wanted to use that solution right there, he would use it. He would use it, but he didn't. So even though this position may be uncomfortable for you, and even though you may feel like you have the best decision ever or the best solution ever, like I can fix this solution right now and don't have to deal with this vulnerability, don't have to deal with this uncomfortableness or just whatever the case may be. Like, sometimes we have to be humble. And I put it here, humble ourselves and say, you know what, even though maybe I may feel like I can fix it and I can, cure my suffering right now, I'm going to submit myself to Christ. I'm going to submit my vulnerability to Christ and humble myself and say, you know what, I'm in submission to you, God. I'm in submission. And I'm allowed whatever you want to allow. And I'm allowing your working to be done. Let your will be done, not mine. I'm not going to take control. Although I want to take control so bad, because some of us, we want to take control. Sometimes we are, and like I said, it may not even be intentional. You might be that person that just know how to just fix everything. Like, boom, I got a solution for this. You're just a good problem solver. Like, bro, like, all right, cool. I'm about to do this, and boom, it's done. But when we're walking with Christ and we're doing things for Christ and we're trying to be in alignment with Christ, understand, sometimes our solutions, it doesn't even amount or compare to God's solutions. So we're going to have to take a back seat. And it may not be comfortable for those people. It may not be comfortable. And I get that. Because I'm a fixer. I'm somebody that has, listen, if you give me a problem, if you tell me something, my mind automatically starts turning, all right, cool, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But once again, when you walk in with Christ, You have to allow him to speak what he wants to speak to you, and allow him to work you through that process. Allow him to work you through that solution. So yes, I put here, when we're in our will, we're choosing to take control. But I'm not going to repeat myself. Like, when we're in our own will, we're choosing to take control. That's what we're choosing. All right, I'm about to do this. If it's not working, then it's not working. Then you need to go into prayer and pray to God. All right, God, I need you to make it clear to me. Because you know me, I'm your child. You know me. You know me, I'm willing to make sacrifices. And I spoke about that in my last video in regards of just sacrifices and then God's will. Because when we start to go in our own will, we sacrifice. If you think about it, if you sit down and think about when we start to make certain decisions, we will sacrifice. God's will, he'll have you sacrifice, but it's not it doesn't come. How should I put this? If he wants you to sacrifice, it is sacrifice for something that he wants you to understand, to have, or whatever the case may be. But our sacrifices is self-sacrificial, meaning as in it comes with a price. It comes with a price. So that's the difference when we sacrifice. When our sacrifices, it comes from our self-will, our own will, is self-sacrificial. We're losing something. We're losing something. We're losing something that really doesn't have to be lost in order to fix something else, as opposed to God. If he wants you to sacrifice, if it was meant to be sacrificed, it wasn't meant for you to have. And on top of that sacrifice, you're going to gain for something that he wanted you to have. If he wanted you to sacrifice a relationship, understand it wasn't meant for you to have, because it's sacrificing the journey. But once you sacrifice that relationship, you're going to gain what he wants you to gain. More clarity, more understanding, more wisdom, more knowledge. But I hope you're following me. So I put here, wanting and choosing to take control reveals the truth behind your faith. May not like this, but it's true. Wanting and choosing to take control reveals the truth behind your faith. Do you really trust? Do you really believe? And this can be, like I said, it may not be intentional. Even though you may feel like, my faith is at an all-time high, but it could be a circumstance that you may be in and you wanting to take control. Now, it's a difference between you wanting to take control and you choosing to take control. You want to take control means that you realize, but you don't do it. Choosing to take control means as in you're taking the opportunity to take control. That's a whole nother story. That means like you're acting out of it. Okay, I'm choosing to take control. I'm done waiting. I'm done doing this. I'm going to take control. And that right there shows you, okay, do you really believe? Do you not even believe? Do you really have faith? Do you really trust? Although it may be hard. It shows the level of your faith. It shows the level of your belief. And I mean as in not believing in God, but just belief in the circumstances. So if you're going through, maybe you're in a job loss. You know what? I'm done. Even though you're doing your due diligence, you shouldn't just be waiting for God to bless you. You should be, putting yourself out there, going to job interviews, going to, like, the job fairs, going in person. Hey, are you guys, hiring? That's your due diligence. Taking control is as, okay, resorting back to who you used to be. Now that is taking control, and you knowing, and that goes back to self-sacrifice, because now that's a loss right there. Everything that you have worked hard for, that is a loss right there. That is self-sacrificial. You know that you shouldn't be turning back. And that's not God's will. So I hope that drives that point home too, in regards of us sacrificing, us taking control. That is a complete difference. God wouldn't want you to do that. And that's not God's will. God's will is, you're unemployed right now, but you're doing your due diligence. Now you're in a waiting season. You need to wait. That's God's will. Your will is, I need a job right now. Since the job is not coming, I'm taking control. Now I'm going to go back to and dibble. I may not go all the way, but I'm going to dibble dabble into what I used to do. Self-sacrificial. You're sacrificing everything that you have worked with God, everything that you have overcame, sacrificing what you used to do to get something to fix a problem. I'm gonna get a job now. Not a job now. I'm gonna do what I used to do and get a little money. I hope that drive that point home now. So yes, choosing to take control is sacrificing when God didn't ask you to sacrifice. Point proven. He didn't ask you. He didn't ask you to join in and say, all right, now I'm about to do my own workings. No. I have you in a season where you're waiting to be employed, but you're doing what you need to do. You're applying for jobs. You're going to interviews. You're going to job fairs. You're showing up at different jobs. Like, hey, are you guys hiring? You're doing what you need to do. I have you here. Now you want to be over here. You want a job. Cool. It's okay that you want it. But I didn't ask you to sacrifice. I didn't ask you to go out there and go start doing what you used to do. I didn't ask you to do that. You know that's not in my will. You know that's not what I want you to do. I put here, taking control is as prideful as someone who has it all. And I'm not saying that everybody who has it all is prideful. No. What I am saying is people that have it all and that is prideful, it's the same thing when you're taking control. You're being prideful. You're saying that I can do it on my own. And like I said, sometimes it may not be intentional. It may not be intentional, but you do have to be aware what it's inadvertently saying. You have to be aware of that insight. So sometimes, even though your actions may not be deliberately saying something, it's still saying something. So you have to be aware of that. Especially when you're dealing with God, especially if you're trying to have that genuine relationship. When you have that genuine relationship with God and it's real and it's not about you going to hell or you going to heaven, but you having a genuine relationship, you knowing that he's your father, you knowing that he loves you and you love him, you're going to be aware of certain things that you're doing that may hurt his feelings, and it'll hurt you because you're like, dang, I ain't even think about that. Because I'm like, dang, it made me feel some type of way. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm like, yo, I messed up. Like, that wasn't even and it revealed to me, like I said, in regards of my faith, in regards of my belief, when it comes to that circumstance, like, dang, I wasn't trying to show I didn't believe that you wasn't going to help me overcome, but that's exactly what I was saying to him. Because if I did believe that he would help me overcome that, I would have been comfortable in that uncomfortable situation. That uncertain situation, I would have been comfortable in that. No, I would have been comfortable because he would have been my fortitude. I would have been eating on my fruits of the spirit, fruits of peace, long suffering, joy, love, like all of that, gentle. I would have been eating on those. So I would have been comfortable in that. Regardless, even though the circumstance that I'm in is uncomfortable. Which I have another point here. I'm going to just get into it. Like, you have to be careful of that where, you know, when worry is creeping in, because that is the enemy. That God doesn't deal with worry. He doesn't deal with doubt. He doesn't deal with that. So when that worry starts to come in, that's when the enemy is trying to deceive you. Get you out of your path. So it ties into that too. When you're taking control. Because you're worried. So because worry leads into doubt, which leads you into your own control. And if I can make you worry, I know that I can make you doubt. And if I can make you doubt, then all right, cool. I know that you're 9 times out of 10, you're not going to sit in that position. You're going to start, all right, let me just start making some moves because I don't know now. See how that worked? So, and I put here, taking control can look like many things, but remember, this can be a portal to deception. It can be many things. It doesn't have to be financial. It can be, because you could be financially good, but you're waiting on God to give you your husband or wife. So now you're taking it into your own control and say, you know what? I'm going to just start, dating, doing this, may even start compromising. He might go to church, but his relationship is probably not as he or she is not equally yoked as you, but you like, all right, God, I'm going to help him. Cool. I'm going to help him. But then you find yourself stumbling because you didn't wait on God. Now, maybe you didn't find this person, and now that, like I said, they're not equally yoked, so they probably not, abstaining until marriage. So now you didn't feel a little short. Like, it can go many different ways. And it can be anything. So yes, I put here, taking control, lack, humility, and vulnerability to our Father. Like I said earlier. When you're taking control, you're not being humble. You're being prideful. It's not humble at all. Humble mean as in, okay, let your will be done, not mine. That's humble. You're allowing him to supersede than what you think, what you feel, what you see. Like, you're allowing him to supersede that. Although we have free will. That's how you know that's humility. Because we have free will. We don't have to. We can choose to do whatever we want to do. But it's the humbleness in us that allow him to say, you know what, God? You got it. Let your will be done, not mine. And I'm going to sit in this vulnerable position. Even though I want to take control. Even though I want to fix it so bad. Put here, do you trust? I will feed you like the birds that do not sow or reap, turn you like the lilies. This is over in Matthew 6. That's allowing that belief to step in for that vulnerability. Standing on his word. Allowing that to be your fortitude when you want to take control. Or when you're in a position that you can't take control. So I asked this question, what are some things you are not trusting God with? I ask that you allow this video to, hit you wholeheartedly. And ask yourself, what are some things that you are taking control? Be honest with yourself. Because if you're trying to build a strong foundation with God, this is something that you need to look at. This is something that you need to pay attention to. And I said, ask for forgiveness and ask him to allow you to trust in him more. And the reason why I say ask for forgiveness, because once again, like I said, if you're taking control, you're stepping into pridefulness. You're stepping into your belief wavering, your faith wavering. You're stepping into rebellion. You're stepping into all of that. You don't want to step into that. And like I said, it's hard. We're human. We want to just like, and we have our free will. So we just want to just like, yo, I want to make it right. I want to make it right. And I get it. From me to you, human to human, I get it. I get it. But let's be realistic. If we're going to be talking about God, we're going to I'm going to be completely transparent with you. So I hope this video was edifying. If this video was edifying, please like, share, comment, engage with me.